What I have joined together, let no man or woman put asunder. The series is in the building. Bringing it to his next.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
I'm in, you guys. Welcome to Breaking Into. Now, what you're hearing is one of my songs is coming out on Thursday. It's called Questions and Answers. It'll be at all media platforms out there that serve, sell music. Welcome to the show. I'm James Lott Jr. And I have a great series to talk about here. I love web series, digital series. Love them. I have another one called Asunder The Series. It's out there. They're up for 2 ISAs, which are Indie Series Awards. They're coming up on Wednesday. Yes. Wednesday. And then someone else who's on the cast is nominated for another show that we showed last week. We'll talk about all of that. So 5 people, 2 Indie Series Awards, 1 studio, East Coast representing. I support these people. I'm so happy to have them here. So I'm going to start from next to me. And if you're listening on iTunes, there's people sitting next to me and across the couch. She's the one that, basically we're all here together because of her, basically. And she did my podcast, at least sometime last year. And I love her just 2 pieces. She is the executive producer. I'll make sure I get all your titles. Creator, co-writer, co-director, executive producer, and she's on the show too as Cameron Chandler, Miss Landra V Phillips.
Thank you for having us.
Nice. I like your braids. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Now, sitting across from her, we'll just call him the stud of the group. Sure, why not? Co-director, we'll get to you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
You too. We're I have an intro for
I'm
you
sorry.
too. I have an intro for you too. Don't worry. I say so. He's executive producer. He's co-director. Co-director, executive producer, and he plays Victor King, Dwayne Parker.
Nice to meet you.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Because it's hot out there today too. I'm like,
yeah.
And you're working it out. You are working it out. So the person next to her, she's up for an ISA for another show, Anacostia, which was on last week on this program. And I've been a fan of her since As the World Turns. We're going back a little bit, girl. We're going to talk about that a little bit also. And she's also a producer. She plays Serena Haynes. That's Miss Lauren B. Martin.
Thank you so much for having me,
My pleasure.
I'm just sending you squeezes from across.
Oh, I'm taking them. Now, they're not banished to the couch. They did anything bad. I like both of them very much, and one's my new Dutch sister. And she's a producer and plays Dion Blair. She's one half of this on-screen couple. Audrey Looye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having the show here. This is a great thing. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. And sitting next to her, the OG in the room.
Yeah. I guess I should take that.
Well, I'm right behind you. Don't worry. The OG. I saw stuff online. I'm right behind you. The OG in the room, and he plays Austin Blair, of course, as Tony D. Head.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
And your real name is Devon, isn't it?
That's my middle name, yeah.
Now, I was wondering what D stands for. Then I looked at your Twitter. I was like, oh, he has it spelled out.
Yeah.
Very good. Is there another Tony Head out there somewhere?
Yes, the British actor who plays in the Vampire series. Yeah, he's been around a long time. Yeah, Tony.
Okay.
His name is. He has to go by Anthony Head because of the union thing.
Oh,
he wanted to go by Tony. He wrote me a letter years ago trying to get me to change my name so he could use it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering because I know I know that Vanessa Williams is. And I wanted to go ahead and change. About you.
I went through the same thing, but I went through the same thing with an angry stage mom and a 10-year-old who I got married at one point in life and took his name and tried to get back to my name, and I couldn't, so I took the letter B as my father's name is Barron, as honoring him. So because of that 11-year-old,
wow,
and her stage mother, but LBM stuck, and so there we go.
There we go.
Good. And there are folks in the chat room. Hello, they are saying hi to you guys.
Hi.
Matt, Kirsten, they're all saying hi, everybody. They're excited. And we're going to. If you have any questions, let me know. Candice Mack says that she is the cheerleader of all of the soaps and all of the digital series.
Yes. Hi,
She's back east. She's back east. She's back east in
Yes,
Baltimore.
she is. Yes, she
We
is.
love her. She's like a little sister to me. And I want to give a shout out to Kim Brockington, who
Kim.
one day, Kim, I want to talk to you because you are amazing. You have to come on my podcast. You're amazing. And my buddy Darrell Anthony.
Yeah, Darrell.
His show. We've all done. People have done his show. So we love Darrell.
That's my son of sorts in life.
Yeah, we finally met last year in person at the Emmys last year.
Yeah.
We met in person, and he's been on the show. And he's just wonderful. Yeah. Here's the thing. So all of you guys back east, there's a whole rich stuff going on back there with
Yeah.
series, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes.
We needed to create it, I think. I think that, there comes a point where you really do have to start putting your own content out there.
Yeah.
And what's really wonderful is that with this family, that we're a lot of us are sort of sliding in between different shows and supporting each other and building a really great, standing in formation with one another, and we're all extremely happy to see others succeed and look back and drag some other folks along with that journey, and that's the wonderful thing about creating your own content and knowing that, hey, this person would be really great for this, you should meet. And that's how I got to, half of the work that I've got has been someone said, have you worked with this person? You should. And we all really hold each other up that way. Which
Yeah,
is
it's
really
interesting. I met Lauren 2 years ago on the set of Pride.
yeah.
I didn't know who she was, and she came in and she did a monologue. And first thing I said, "Wow, she's really,
thank you.
really good." I came over, I introduced myself,
did.
and here we are working
Yeah.
on Asunder. It just goes to what you were saying about how all these things overlap.
I would say you were on Pride series, and then
Yeah.
didn't you do one? You did another series too back there, didn't you? I'm trying to think. Have you done any series back there? No, another digital series.
Chuck-
Blue City.
Chuck-
Blue City.
Yeah, I don't think you do six. I
Blue
mean,
City,
because more than the ones I'm talking about. There's a lot
Yeah.
of different series out there that are going on.
Yeah.
back
Marcus
east.
Ray's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it about the East Coast? What is it about Baltimore and Maryland and New York? I mean, what is it that's different than like L.A.?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but the first and foremost, the landscape. New York is another. I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker used to say it about Sex and the City, but it is another character.
Yeah.
There is and Baltimore has that. D.C. has that. There is the beat and the sound of that city that is really, you can't duplicate it. There is an energy there, and I think that just as there is an energy and a beautiful energy here in Los Angeles, the backdrop of New York is that skyline, that the grunge of it, the beauty of it, the amalgamation of cultures. You have poverty at one place and extreme wealth merging together all the time, and you can't pay for those extras. Your background is right there.
What do you think, Dwayne?
Yeah, and just to add on that, if you can make it,
Say it, Dwayne. Say it.
New York,
Make
New York.
it there,
Sing it.
you make it anywhere.
It's up to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
there's just a hunger there that I think just is in everybody's heart there that just drives people to just want to do the extra and make incredible content.
Well, I'm going to get to you in a second about how you created series, but first with you, because you did The Wire. I have a whole Wire connection. I know so many people on this I've had on this show have been on an episode or been on The Wire. Why do you think that show still, because it's set in Baltimore, why do you think that show still resonates with people?
I think the writing, David Simon was a crime reporter before he became a big-time producer like he is now. And all the writers were either ex-policemen or crime writer reporters. Everything was real about the show, including the casting. What was interesting about that as an actor, I went in for a day player, and I ended up on the show for 3 seasons.
right.
And it was only because the writers, they gravitated toward character, and they would just keep writing for you, if you brought something to it. But it was an amazing show. I took it for granted when I was on it. I had a lot going on in my life. If I had to go back, I would do a lot of things differently, but I'm glad that I was a part of it. It was
When I
a great
saw that
show.
he was on the show, I was like, I know him. I've seen him before. Because I knew her already, but I'm like, I've seen him before. But I'm a big Wire fan.
Yeah.
He said I've had many people on this show who've been on The Wire. And what she just said, Baltimore was a major part of, the city was a major part of that show.
Yeah, and Baltimore is a blue-collar city. It's a completely different city than D.C. and New York. So when you work out of Baltimore, it's very unique. But I like personally, there's no other city like New York.
But as we speak about Baltimore, I'd be kicked in the teeth. Shout out to all of my cousins in Baltimore.
Yes, I'll know.
The Banfield, Evans, Moore family, everybody, hello, thank you.
And I do want to give a shout out to Tom, who couldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
send our love to him. He couldn't be here today. Now, so Dwayne and Landra, you guys are also kind of work on this on 6 Feet High Productions.
Yes.
So how did you guys meet?
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Yes.
actors with day jobs. So my
Okay.
my hashtag day job, I am a licensed drama and theater teacher.
Very good.
So for 13 years, I taught, shout out to High School for Law Enforcement and Public Safety in Queens.
Jamaica Queens. Jamaica Queens.
So I ran the theater and drama department there. And Dwayne worked there as a guidance counselor, but I asked him initially, I didn't realize he was interested in, that he used to act.
Okay.
And so he was kind of dormant, just,
Oh, low key.
And I needed help with the after school program, doing drama with these kids. And so I was doing Fame the Musical. Huge undertaking.
Yes.
So I needed someone to help me mount that with the high school, the juniors and seniors we were doing the production with. So I said, I'll play Miss Sherman. Can you be, the music teacher, and let's do this and get these kids and everything. And so he came on board with the after school program, and then he was hooked. It drug him back into the acting world.
Re-energized me.
Re-energized him big time.
So I can see he looks like somebody who's like underground. Like, you have that great smile. And everything. He's all quiet. Like, I'm just Dwayne. I don't really do much. I don't do anything. I'm just Dwayne. I don't do anything. But I can tell you, there's something underneath there, isn't there? I'm sure. Now, what made you decide to create a company and do a digital series? I mean, that's a big undertaking.
I will say, actually, the students that I had actually kind of motivated me. And I'll never forget my principal. I did A Raisin in the Sun with my students, and I played Mama.
Oh, wow.
On stage.
Okay.
My principal came up to me and she said, you're destined to do something else besides here. And I'm like, what, Miss Malcolm?
Miss Malcolm.
Yeah, and I was doing stage plays and everything, but I really wanted to transition into television and film so that I could build a reel, because as an actress, it was my goal to, hopefully get signed by an agent and just take my, try to take my career to the next level. So I just decided to start 6 Feet High Production to mount the plays first, and then try to gear up enough money to do my first, they were web series back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to do my first web series, which is what happened. So my first play was called Am I My Brother's Keeper? I raised enough capital from that to turn that into a web series called Chocolate City.
Yeah, Chocolate City. We talked about that.
And that's how I started 6 Feet High Production.
That's amazing. And Audrey, how'd you get into this production? How'd you fall into
How did I
them?
get in?
How'd you get into these people?
I don't know how I got in here. I actually took a break from acting for almost 20 years.
What?
And I did soap work. I lived in New York City.
Yeah.
I did theater. I'm theater trained, blah, blah, blah. And Landra gave me the opportunity to audition for the first time in 20 years. Wow. I went to an open call. I brought a monologue. It was pouring rain.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, God, I have to do this again. Crap. And you were there. Your whole team was there. And I just thought the concept was so great.
Yeah.
The story so great.
Yeah.
Capturing the spirit of New York and all this.
Yeah.
And also being involved in a time in our lives when hopefully this is getting some acceptance.
Hello.
I mean, we met 30 years ago.
Right.
So I just loved everything I heard and everything I saw, and making it has been amazing.
Yeah.
In so many ways. So
I'm
thank
glad,
you, Landra.
Thank you, Audrey.
I'm glad you guys bring that up, and I'm glad this is something to bring up that, interracial relationships should be, half of us wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be here either. I wouldn't be here either,
Exactly.
so I wouldn't be here either. If that happened, clearly. But it's just interesting that you'll be able to portray something it's drama, it's all this stuff, but like you're a strong black man on the show, you're a strong woman on the show. Like, this is a great thing, but you just happen to be one's black and one's white. Like, it's that's not it's not about the character. It's about the characters, not the color.
Exactly.
Right.
One would think,
Right.
but it's a wonderful thing to be able to show it in the tapestry of things. And as my character also plays a multi-ethnic character, as am I in real life.
Yeah.
But I think that it is. Look at the tapestry of what's happening in our country. I mean, not to divert the attention to that, but underlying issues still come up. And as far as how children are created, two people had sex, they made a baby. They happen to be of two different races.
Right.
It happens every day all over the world, all the time.
Right.
But in this country, it still raises eyebrows in certain things. And to be able to have storylines that just effectively tell those stories without making it so in your face. I mean, one of the reasons why we love what Shonda Rhimes does
Yes.
is that you stop thinking that person is brown or yellow or what have you. You just look at the character, and the story is great. And I really do believe that that's a lot of what we're trying to do as a show as well, with race, a bit of religion in.
Because I feel like what you do is because it's a very diverse cast. So we're seeing, you have some hot people on there too that are maybe in shape. And you have hot people on there who may not be what you think is supposed to be the norm. And I think it's so important to show that, so I can see myself reflected on the screen. I want to see somebody who's older like I am, or somebody who's black like I am, or somebody who's mixed like I want to see all those things. Was that a very conscious choice for you?
Yes, I would say being part of Team Thick, a plus size actress,
and beautiful. Hello. And beautiful.
Thank you. But I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm thick and proud. Okay. And I wanted to showcase that, people of all races, all sexualities, all shapes, sizes, there's attractiveness in everyone. And that beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
I agree.
And so, I wanted to showcase that. I thought that was very
important. A lot of people like Team Thick.
Yeah.
They tell you people like it.
Oh, yeah, they do. They try to front, but they do.
They do. They do. I was like, please. Because I like seeing things, because, when I was growing up, I only saw very few images of things I go, that's me on TV. Very few things. Now I'm seeing more of it. And I want to see, and this show does that. You see more of it.
Yeah.
So it's so good. Now, how do you two, especially, because you do so many different things, how do you wear those hats? So when you're directing, you're just a director. When you're acting, you're just an actor. How do you juggle that?
It is a challenge. It is definitely a challenge. But we've seen, because of the relationship that we've had, we kind of can read each other's minds, and we can kind of, fill in the holes, when it needs to be filled in, and just take on the task. Because at the end of the day, we have a job to do, to get it done, and we had to, we share the vision that she's created.
Yeah, and I will add on to that, and I will say, as an actor, that's like kind of one thing, and it's totally different from when you're directing. So fortunately, Tom also co-directs, so we've able to split.
Okay.
I don't direct myself. I prefer not to do.
Oh, you don't? Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
So I when I'm Cameron.
Somebody else need to do it.
So either he will direct me or Tom will direct. Yeah.
That's kind of smart. Well, it feels like, though, it's a very collaborative effort anyway, isn't it? Every scene you probably do is probably very collaborative, where you're all chipping in to make the best scene, correct? That's what it feels like.
See, we're also very open to, like I remember a scene that we did. In the chemistry room. So Lauren, sometimes maybe she'll throw in an idea, or Audrey or Tony, and so we're not afraid to not, to not listen to feedback.
To our veteran actors.
Yes.
So,
we love them.
And I think that makes the show better. 100%.
And that's so smart of you guys to go, okay, well, they've been around for a while, and you've been around for a while doing this. They may have something that can really add to make the show even
We don't
better.
know everything.
Absolutely.
Right, you don't know everything. The education should never end.
Right.
Never.
On both sides, though, I think that part of I think the reason why all of us, the more more of an age range.
Yes.
But I think the reason why that you do show up to do anything is it still has to be something that you're passionate about. It has to be something that you're having fun with, and that creativity doesn't always make sense. But in the confines of making something happen, having fun with it, and being able to be energized by your performance is really the only reason why I still do it.
Right.
I want to have fun. I want to have respect with the people that I'm volleying with, and that's kind of what acting is. And I come in with conscious decisions, as do all of us, of really where we want to go. And the idea is to never derail the team, but to sort of say, trust me. If you trusted me enough to cast me in this particular part, give me that ball and I'm going to run, because that's what our gifts are, and that's when you have the format and the comfortability to do that. That's where you shine, and that's where you shine as a whole.
I love your nails. So I'm just saying, as you gesture, your nails are really pretty. Very pretty.
I did them for you.
I know, but you're very pretty. I saw it's like they're very pretty. They're good, girl.
Thank you.
And Audrey, are you glad you came back to acting?
Oh my God, I'm so glad. It is such a wonderful time for the mature woman.
Yes.
thank you, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin.
Right.
I mean, right?
Right.
So the way I looked at it is it kind of just began again for me. And I'll probably work into my 80s.
That's right, honey.
There's an opportunity.
What is one thing that seems different for you now that you didn't have before 20 years ago?
No, it's all of what's there now. When I left the business, it was black and white 8x10s.
Oh, yeah.
Your reel was a cassette player that you mailed out to people, and now everything, I had to get way tech savvy. I had to have lessons in that.
Oh, wow.
We self-taped an audition for Lauren today in my living room.
She put me on tape for an audition today, and I have to say that the gear came out.
Oh, that's so funny.
Up green
and
screen.
she's got the green screen over here, and I said, "What other kind of movies are you making?" But when I come and stay at your apartment, if this Bumble thing works out, you never know. But it's true. You don't. It has become one of those things where it's like when the fax machine first was developed. You say,
Exactly.
"There's a noise and it travels
Yes.
over here," but it's amazing that how you can. How really you are a participant in your career in a very different way. It sometimes is a little nerve-wracking because it's, you just as you're swiping on anything, you're submitting yourself to things, and hopefully the people that are your caretakers of your artistic career are doing their jobs. But the great thing is that we've been able to take back some of the power by being able to sort of see the castings clearer than you did back in the day. You went in blind, so it's kind of
Love
cool.
it. I actually booked a feature film 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
That I start working on in May.
Yes, girl.
Strong supporting role for a strong, mature woman.
Oh, wow.
And I went through Actors Access, and I told Lauren on the way here, next time I get to the 2 callbacks and the screen test, I'm going to look at the sign-up sheet and see who those agents are and let them know I booked this.
That's right.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Congrats, Audrey. You have a camera set up in your house?
I do. Well, it's my...
We need to talk after that.
And I did have to use a fax machine the other day, and I forgot how to use it, and I'm standing there, and the girl was like, "Sir, are you having a problem?" I'm like, "I don't know how to use a fax machine."
Yeah.
So I had to fax something the other day.
Yeah.
It was like funny you said that. I had to actually fax something. I'm like, I don't know. I forgot how to do this.
Right?
Yeah.
Which side did I put it? Do I put it up this way or this way? I'm like, yeah, I'm just, I don't know what's going on. So Landra, explain to people who have not watched this wonderful series, what is the series about?
Okay, so Asunder The Series is actually a soap opera digital series. So it's a drama, but it is a soap opera.
Yes.
It pays homage to the soap opera genre
Yes.
itself. And there are 2 rival families,
Yes.
the Chandlers and the Blairs. The Chandlers are an African-American family that owns Chandler Perfumes and Cosmetics Corporation. And the Blairs are a biracial family that own Blair Natural Fragrances.
Yes.
There's also a 3rd family in the mix that is trying to come up by any means necessary, the Haynes family as well. So there's a triangle of 3
Yes.
families in New York City
Yes.
that hustle, that grind.
It's like Bold and the Beautiful, but on the East Coast.
Yes.
Because they're fashion, and they have the fashion families, and always a third. It's very like
Or
that.
we could go back further. It's like Dallas with black people.
That's
Okay.
it.
I love Dallas. Who's JR? Who's Sue Ellen? No, I love Dallas. Actually, I love Dallas. But no, you're right. I mean, it's the same, similar. It's a classic. It's a classic setup.
There you go.
I said 2 rival
Knots
families.
Landing and Falcon Crest.
Yeah, exactly. Dynasty, all those things.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's a classic, setup. I love that. Mm-hmm. That's good. And so, how did you come up with these characters? I mean, you're thinking. I mean, 'cause some of these characters are, completely her character. Doing kind of. I mean, like, how'd you come up with that kind of stuff?
Oh, wow.
You have imagination, a big imagination.
Well, my mom was a soap opera fanatic, huge. And all day when I was a child, the only channel that was on was CBS. So it was
Oh, okay.
Young and the Restless,
Yes.
Bold and the Beautiful, As the
Yes.
World Turns,
Yes.
and Guiding Light. That's
Yes.
all that was on in my house when I
Yes.
was a kid growing up. And so my mom always had these soaps. That's what I saw. She was not trying to turn the television. And then she watched Dallas, Falcon Crest, and Dynasty as well. Primetime soaps. So I just was always, watching soaps, and I was like, I think this type of episodic content is amazing, and this is something that I would want to do as a writer. And so initially, I was a huge, like I said, Dallas fan, Young and the Restless, and I thought about, okay, it would be cool to kind of have families, but kind of put a twist on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know any shows that have, black families or biracial families like in the fragrance and cosmetics industry or black chemists. I'd never heard of that. So that's kind of where I came up with that. And I wanted, some really a regal name or a name that you wouldn't forget for the first family.
Yeah.
So the name Chandler actually came from my ex-boyfriend.
Oh, all righty. Well, all righty.
It kind of stuck, but everybody.
It works.
It works.
It works. Thanks, ex.
Yeah.
Shout out to my ex.
Yes.
And for
Does
the
he know?
you know what?
Now you do.
Give him all
Yeah,
those
he
props.
did.
Now you do if you watch this.
But I wanted something also for the Blairs, some type of name that would, stand out and be astute, and I came up with that.
Okay.
And then the Haynes family, because they are, lower income, but they are trying to pull their way out of the gutter by any means necessary. I just wanted an everyday common name, Haynes.
Yeah.
Like a good, dependable underwear.
Yes, it does. I think I'm wearing some Hanes right now, I think. I could be. Actually, I think I am. That's great. And I want to ask, besides Lauren, I want to ask the rest of you guys watch soaps? Do you guys know about soaps growing up?
My mother put me on to all those soaps. She used to watch Young and the Restless. She's here to support me, by the way. Dallas, I remember that cat fight with the two female leads falling into the pool.
Dynasty,
and the whole nine. So and she loves the Bold and the
Bold and Beautiful?
Not the Bold and Beautiful. The
Days of Our Lives, General Hospital.
As a World Turns.
All My Children.
All My
What did
Children.
she just compared? Did she compare this show to?
I said Bold and
Crest?
Beautiful. Falcon Crest. I said Bold and Beautiful. You said
A new
Dallas. A new one?
It's on.
Oh,
Have Nots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys West Indian?
How did you? Oh, okay. Well, my parents are Guyanese, but I was born in Canada, so I.
There you go. I love.
I'm all American.
You're American.
South American, North American.
I've been to West Indies, so I think that people like you look like people like in from the West Indies. I have family from St. Eustatius, so I was in the West Indies, so I know that. And you guys watch soaps or know about soaps?
Oh boy. So my day job is for a major airline, a flight attendant. I've been there for a while. I won't say how long.
Okay.
And so back in the old days when we used to serve standby at the airport for years on end, there was one television, and whatever the soap started with on the West Coast, it ended with the East Coast, and we watched all of them.
Yeah.
We knew everybody.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we watched All My Children, the whole thing with Jesse and Debbie Morgan, and I remember General Hospital.
Yeah.
But before it's interesting. I like Audrey have been gone from the business for over 20 years as well. I came back about 4.5 years ago and started from scratch just like she did. So, I did some guest work on Guiding Light. Long time ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was. But it was interesting. There's not very many left.
I was saying, because I'm bringing up Miss Lauren over here, because you did the whole gamut of New York soaps.
Yeah.
You did Johnny Light, As World Turns. I mean, All My Children. But I said, I knew you from As World Turns because you were part of speaking of, you mentioned Jesse and Angie, you were part of a partnership with Peter Peros. It was very rare to see a black couple on soaps.
It was.
And you guys were in a major storyline. I mean, I remember seeing in soap magazines. It was like, that never happens.
That time in my life, for a couple of reasons, was pretty phenomenal. You didn't see that. You didn't see two people of color having romance.
That's right.
And so one of the things that we fought for, and Peter and I. And a lot of the East Coast actors, we sat down with Procter & Gamble. We actually had some kind of we had a black church, which you didn't see. I mean, the Winans came on and sang with me, which was an incredible moment on that show. Yeah. And then Lynette McKee played my mom, which was tremendous. Yeah. So having that opportunity, even when it came to the breast cancer, showing cancer in a woman so young, even the interracial relationships, me and Brad.
Yes, I remember. I remember all the stuff.
It was a really fascinating time, and it was a great time to sort of see that this was important. I think that representing people of color, of all colors in daytime, the format was some of the first. It was the first time in television that you ever talked about date rape. It was the first time in television you actually talked about AIDS and HIV. The first time you had a character coming out. Daytime television really started a lot of things, and it started conversations in homes. And so I feel very honored to have been a part of so many shows. I feel it's a really wonderful thing randomly when people discuss the fact that you were part of their life, whether they were folding laundry watching you, or they were doing their finals, or it was, every once in a while I see some sports person who says, we used to watch you on the bus, and I'm like, that's weird, but that's amazing. So it was an important part in television for me. I didn't really recognize it, I think, so much at that point. I felt very responsible to the breast cancer storyline, and I spoke at a lot of Race for the Cures, and that responsibility was something that I'm honored to have participated in.
No, I remember that storyline. You were very good at that.
Thank you so much.
But I thought again, because he brings up Justine Angie, I want to give a shout out to the late Christophe St. John, who played Neil. He was a friend of mine, friend too.
My friend.
And it's just that we had very little. We had Al Freeman Jr. back in the '80s on Life to Live. Like there's very few black folks that stood. Well, I'll say Ellen Holly also from Life to Live that stood out so heavily. Victoria Rowell, people like that. I mean, there are very few that
But to also give a nod to that, too, is that one of the things that I will always thank the writers at As the World Turns for, they took me aside and they said, we don't know how to necessarily write for a person who's biracial and multi-ethnic. How do you feel? And we had some arguments. I had some arguments about, stop giving me sweet potato pies to carry into events.
Oh my God.
And I said, you might as well have given me a bucket of fried chicken and a watermelon. I'm not okay with that. Don't get angry when I change my hair. Women of color change their hair all the time. And so we had some we butted heads occasionally, and that was only because when you feel the responsibility of all eyes are saying, how do you play a multi-ethnic person? Well, you play that person, and then it's just an added thing that person happens to be of all these different races. I'm not the first person in history, but it is something that certain things offend you in that way, and I was grateful to be able to have the conversations and folks listen.
It's interesting she brings up that happened a long time ago, but if you remember during the Oscars when Precious was up and Gabrielle Sidibe was nominated for Best Support. Was it Best Actress?
Best Actress, yeah.
The clip they used was her running down the street with a bucket of chicken.
Yep.
That was the acting clip they used.
Yep.
It was just so in addition to what she had to deal with the shaming, the body shaming, they also used a clip of her going into a chicken place, getting chicken and running out. It was.
I remember.
So I mean, it still happens. All of those stereotypes about what they think about that.
Now, I was going to ask you about these two over here, Audrey, and they look like a head of a family.
Yes, they do.
So when you cast them, do they look like a head of family? Like you say, they're the head of family.
Oh well, when Audrey came in and did her audition, she just
killed it,
bodied it.
Okay,
bodied.
This is all they think.
Audrey said she's the head of the family, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah,
that's what she thinks.
Of course she does. Of course
she
does.
needs to think that.
As she should think that, of course. Yes.
And I've always been a huge Wire fan.
Yeah, same here. All right.
So I just went after Tony.
Nephew, okay, and it worked. So for you two, what is it like playing this interracial head of a family company? Do you feel a responsibility to really be conscious about it?
And authentic.
And authentic?
And, yes,
good
authentic.
Good answer. Good word.
We have two wonderful children and a daughter-in-law, and in our relationship, and I really feel like we're a family, and it came together pretty much on the first day on set. Relating as human beings.
Yeah,
we're human beings first.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't really. I mean, I feel that, but I don't think about it because the circumstances of the people I work with and the circumstances of the script and how I approach it and the character, it happens, and that's what it shows. So I'm not consciously thinking about that, but at the end of the day, it usually happens because of the way I process it.
Well, I hate to say this to you because I'm going to say it anyway to you, but you are representing this strong lead actor, black man on a series. It's just that we don't have a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is responsibility for it, but your acting is first, obviously. But I want to praise you for that because that's something that's very, and you too for doing this.
But the writers are giving me that ammunition to use and work with. When I first read it, when we had our first table read, I knew from then that this was a wonderful opportunity to do that, you know, and she gave me the words and the circumstances to be able to show that. And with Audrey, right now, I feel it's a little one-sided because it seems like I'm always yelling at her. But she got me on this a couple of last shoots. You know, she came back on me a little bit, and I was like, yeah, that's what you should be doing. You know, so. But I have a feeling that in the future you're going to see a lot more of the fleshing out of you know, our history together, because you know, we've got, you know, our characters have 20, 30 years of being together, raising a family, and you know, there's a lot of water under different bridges, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Which is a great thing about with the web with digital series. You can actually flesh out characters and play it out.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see what's going on with them.
Yeah, the next 3 episodes we are filming right now. Okay. My co-writer, Tom.
Yes.
We're still finishing up some writing for that, so it's interesting because we see it from, we're in the show, but we're the writers of the show, so we kind of see like the whole world.
Yes.
Of Asunder. So we're doing some cool things. We're excited.
Now, Dwayne, you also have, I was reading somewhere, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but you like martial arts.
I love martial arts.
So you're practicing in your martial arts and that?
Well, I don't practice anymore. I used to practice Muay Thai and Shotokan karate.
Oh, wow.
But you know, as you get older, you know, don't like to get hit so much.
You're a baby. You're a baby. I'm like, older. I'm like, okay,
tell me about it.
Like, sure, okay, but no, I know what you mean. It's like
really into the MMA movement now and what they're doing. So.
What is one thing that it really teaches you that you can apply to acting?
2 things actually: courage and honor.
Ooh.
You know. Just qualities that I think you should bring to the table in any situation, but in acting it does a lot. You know, you got to honor your family when you come to set, and just the courage to leave all fears behind when you're in front of that camera.
Camera does not lie, does it? Nope. It sure don't. It don't. Now, I just want to bring up, because the ISAs are coming up in a couple of days, and you guys are all going?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You guys are all going. And I just want to mention, Lauren, you're up for Anacostia.
I am.
It's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What does the nomination actually mean for you? What does it mean in this stage of your career? Like, what does it mean for you?
Oh, you know what's great, and I love this award show is near and dear to me. This will be my 3rd nomination. I joke and I do it wholeheartedly that my last nomination, Emma Thompson was nominated, and I was like, for the love of God, stay in your lane. You know,
I know what you mean now.
Let the little ones swim a little faster. And of course, I just sat there in the audience and I went, here we go again.
That's so funny.
But it's really wonderful to see what has happened with digital series as a writer director myself, and a content creator as well. It's a great thing seeing it's limitless. Again, as we talk about being able to create your own content, create diversity within that, and that standing in a room with people with shows from all over the world and getting to see their work and their vision. This isn't, you know, 2 little kids trying to make a video in a college dorm room. There's some really imaginative, wonderful work out there. And so a nomination to me means that somebody paid attention. Okay. Every time you go to work, however big the project is budgeted or however small it is, I feel really lucky. We talked about, you know, you and I together just talked about health and illnesses, and I've been through a couple things in the last couple of years.
My fans know, I have too.
And I'm very lucky to still be here. And I don't ever want to sort of call it a comeback, because I was always there. But it is a wonderful thing when someone says, "Hey, keep at it." Yeah. You know, you aren't the oldest bartender in New York.
Okay. That's it. I love that.
Still do your thing. And to all those bartenders and cocktail waitresses and door people and bathroom attendants, you know, and those women who are reaching a certain age in their life, to know that there is there's still room for you. And I fight for my seat at that table, and I'm very proud of having one.
I second that.
Thank you.
I seriously, I tell people all the time, because I started in this business a little later in life myself. I was in my 40s, and I was like, no, I mean, life doesn't end at 25, 30 years old. Right. It does keep going. It actually gets better in many ways.
Yeah,
because you're gathering experiences. It gets better. Now, I want to mention that this show got 2 nominations. Congratulations. Best Costume Design and Best Original Song on Us.
Yay.
Congratulations there. Yeah, so I can always say Indie Series Award nominee.
I did want to say, and I didn't, but I also just wanted to say really just thank you to the Anacostia team for being so welcoming. And what ended up happening, Anthony Anderson,
who's on last week,
who's my love and my friend, I nudged him at one of the ISAs and I said, when are we going to work together? When is this going to happen? And it was my sister, my sister from another Mr. and Ms. Martha Byrne.
Yes, we love Martha. Yes.
Who said, you really need to write something for Lauren. And I, you feel like that those things kind of fall on deaf ears every once in a while. But he kept his promise, and I did receive a phone call. And the role is very dramatic. It was not a fun day to do that. And unfortunately, it's a storyline that I really wish that wasn't part of our daily news, and certainly guns pointed at people of color far too much. So
it happened to me 2 years ago at a 7-Eleven. So I was like, I had a SWAT team on me.
Wow.
So I know it still happens in Los Angeles. It still happens
all the time.
Right.
Well, we're glad that you're still here.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you're too. And I will say, like I said to Anthony, if you ever want to write on a small little role for me, I'll come back
he keeps his promises.
I'm saying on you too. Oh, you too.
Oh yeah, we got you.
I was like, I did some acting here and there. I've done a few things here and there. So I want to say to Audrey and to Lauren and to Landra, you guys are women, clearly. Mm-hmm. And also producers on this series. Yeah. So, really, check. But I want to make the point that women can work together, can't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Unquestionably, yes, definitely.
Because people still say women can't work together, but women can work together. And they're doing it more and more now, aren't they?
Actually, I'm a long time with the major airline. That is the biggest group of women that all work together all the time, and we are a team. Wow. And you got to set things that, successful team.
Right.
But I think that we're the only this idea of kind of pointing fingers at other women and not being again looking back and raising another person up. I think delegating and knowing your strengths and weaknesses make you the best type of producer. Being able to say, I trust that I'm not going to micromanage this, or I trust that I'm not going to do this. And letting go of the wheel sometimes. The smartest people surround themselves with people who are as smart or smarter than them. And as a woman, we multitask really well. And it's not to say that men don't,
I know,
but there's a different thing.
Yes.
And I think smart productions always have a few women at that.
Okay. Now I'm going to direct this to you, Landra, and this is from Candace Mack, who's watching.
Hi, Candace.
Wants to know, what do you think is the biggest misconception about digital series and web series out there?
Oh, wow.
These days.
That's a really good question.
That's a good question. You should do my job.
I know, right?
That's a really good question. I didn't think of that question. No, but what do you think is
I think the biggest misconception is that it's easy to just go out there and put together a series. Here, it takes a lot of hard work.
Oh, sure it does, yeah.
A lot of collaboration, because you can't do it by yourself. So I might have the vision, and I might be the Shonda Rhimes.
Right.
But it takes a lot of work. If I had to do everything by myself, I wouldn't be able to play Cameron. You know what I mean? So I think that's a huge misconception people have, that you can just go pick up a camera and, all right, let's just start, and just throw it out there in the universe.
Well, also, you need help people to help explain your vision, make your vision possible into reality. I mean, you need all the help you can get.
Absolutely.
And it comes from, cinematography and writing and producing and acting and getting the right actors. I mean, it's like a stressful process.
It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding and fulfilling. And when you all come together and you're collaborating with amazing people like Tony and Audrey and Lauren and Dwayne, it's amazing. And so I would say that's one of the biggest misconceptions, that it's easy.
When you saw the first episode finished product, what were your immediate thoughts when you saw it?
I was proud, but my second thought was, all right, because I'm a grinder. People that know me know that I'm never satisfied. I'm always kind of working to do harder. So, okay, now how can I take this to the next level in the next 3 episodes? Okay. So that was my reaction.
So you saw it, you're like, okay, good, but
how am I gonna grind and take this to the next level?
Interesting. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing it with different eyes. Also, you're seeing it as a producer, you're seeing it as a writer. Because you guys, writing it, you're producing it. Like, oh, okay, that's good, but
Yeah. So that was my second thought.
Okay.
After
I like that. I like that. So why should folks watch this series? Give me a few words on that. Like, what do people think why should watch this series? I think you should watch it, of course, but why do you guys think you should watch it?
I think they should watch it for simply one, it's entertaining. Two, it's diverse, and there's a little bit of every single character has something that either people will go, "Wish I had the courage to do that," or "I get that."
Oh, okay.
And I think seeing the tableau that Landra has created, there are some characters that sort of go the extra mile in their lives, and I think that everybody aspires to hustle, and I think everybody will get the idea of coming from a place that they want better for their family, or they want to leave their mark in the world in some way, and I think every character has a hustle in this show.
Yeah, but if there's no conflict, it's not interesting.
That's right.
Nobody wants to just see everybody happy.
Right.
So this, I think that's what this series does. It brings a lot of people in contact with each other with similar types of aspirations, and people getting in the way of that and then trying to overcome the obstacles. So it makes for an interesting watch. I think people will be pretty pleased when they watch these next 3 episodes.
And I think hopefully we'll make you feel something every once in a while. There are some things that are on an emotional level. I certainly hope to make you laugh every once in a while. Yes. But there's heart. There's heart behind the show.
Yeah, I think this show is, I would describe it as unique, brave, honest, funny.
Yeah.
And something that appeals to all genders and all people.
Yeah. Very good. Audrey, what do you think?
Everything I agree with here, but also that it paints this beautiful picture of New York City, a place that so many people can't afford to visit. And maybe through our televisions, we are going to take you on these journeys, and you're going to get to see some of New York.
I like that.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. Go on, Audrey. Bring it on home, Audrey. That's right. That's a really great answer. Wow. So now, what I do at the end of my shows, I've done 130 of these or whatever over the last 3.5 years, I ask my guests the same 2 questions.
Okay.
So everybody get ready, get your think caps on. I make you work at the end. I believe in language. And I believe that language could either stunt us or stop us or make us go forward or motivate us. So the first question to everybody is, what word should we not say anymore in English language? You can go, Lauren.
Nigger.
Good. You shouldn't say it anymore in any form, right?
I don't care if you're a rapper. It's just a word I think people fought too hard for that word to be eradicated, and owning it, we can argue about that all day.
Right.
But it's a word I don't like to hear.
I agree with you on that one. Audrey?
Hate. I hate that word.
Yes.
Hate. I taught my son that is a very strong word. You don't use it
lightly.
But
No.
we can get rid of it completely.
I've learned to not like the word hate. It took me a while to get there. I learned that it's not a productive word at all. Not really a good word at all.
I have a word. Fear. Fear of the other. Fear of the unknown. Fear of someone being different than you. What if we took that word out?
Right.
And we were able to just take a deep breath and take people in as they are, without fear. What a world that would be, right?
God, well, fear. Everybody would be doing everything, doing things they've been wanting to do. And how much more would we create?
Yeah.
How much more would happen in the world?
Yeah.
If we took fear out.
But just because of the atmosphere of hate now,
Yeah.
because of Trump and what he's doing, if we could just take that word out, oh man, it'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to give a shout out to Nipsey Hussle, who passed away.
Yes.
10 blocks away from my house, actually. So I was there when it was going on. So,
Racks in the middle.
Condolences to the family.
and he was doing great things. So speaking of hate and all that fear and all that stuff, Dwayne was
Cancel.
Ooh, okay. The first for the show. That's the first one. I love that. Cancel. Please tell me.
I don't like that everyone is so quick to cancel people.
Yes.
We need to learn how to forgive and, help people to become better people. People can always change. People can always become better.
So he's quiet, but he says that. There's a lot going underneath there. I see it. I totally see it. What's your word?
I do not like the word faggot.
Very good.
In any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Again, it's so similar to the N-word. It's the same thing. It's kind of like, no matter who can own it or whatever, but let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, and so some of my students sometimes use that word and they don't understand, and I have to immediately check them because Asunder, we also have, storylines with, the LGBTQ community, and we're strong supporters, and so I do not like that word at all.
Yeah, I agree.
That's to be eradicated from existence.
Now, here's the reverse, or converse, or however the word is. I did go to school. I did. That's right. Did graduate. I graduated and everything. And I went to school for real. And I paid for it myself. A little shade there. With what's going on these days. What words should we say more of these days? Because there are a lot of words we don't say anymore. And I want to hear what you guys think what word we should say more of. I know. There's a lot. But what should we say more of? Who wants to...
Lovely.
I love that word. It's not said enough.
I love lovely.
It's like, you're lovely, Lauren.
Thank you. You are lovely too.
You know what I mean? No one says that. I love that word. It's like a throwback. I like that. Anybody else?
Oh, you looking at me?
Yeah.
Come on, Dwayne.
I'd still say honor. I don't think we hear that word enough, and people don't know, what that means. So I encourage everybody to look that up and.
Well, I'm going to ask you a quick. I was just thinking for a second. I'm going to ask you a question about that. Do you think, our community doesn't feel honor these days because of what's happening to us, or to them, or do you think they just don't know, period, what that means fully? They're not being taught that.
Yeah, I think that's quality of life type of thing. I think that's something that all families should be taught. Because it's about respect. It's about just representing yourselves and others to a high degree. So I think that just needs to be.
I would say the word he just mentioned there, respect. Mm-hmm. Respect other people. Respect their views for them to be able to do it, and you can debate or discuss with respect whatever the topic is. But if we did respect each other, no matter what, we would be able to talk those things out, right?
Did you see the thing that's going around with Dr. Maya Angelou, where she corrects the girl by calling her, Miss Angelou, not Maya? Mm-hmm. There's a debate going on about that, and for me, I'm old school. I mean, all adults were Miss this, Miss that, Mr. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a respect thing. I think it feels like it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
But in agreement of all of that, what Dwayne was saying is that to really understand honoring what the essence of honor is, what the essence of respecting someone is, what fear can do and what it changes and what it prohibits within ourselves, never mind in anybody else. And so there are these words and what hate actually means, and that hate is final. My grandmother used to say to me, God rest her soul, this word means courage in Irish. And she used to say, to hate someone, you really should have loved them first. And so it is there's a finite thing about that. So I think that the words that we use, this is it's fascinating.
See, that's what I do all the time. Now, Audrey, what do you think? What's your word?
I like kindness.
Oh, that's a good word.
I like to be kind. I like to be treated kindly. I think that can go a long way. If you don't have the right words, just be kind.
I like to go in kindness.
Yeah.
I like to approach things with kindness.
Yeah.
And she practices that when she picked up that tablet yesterday.
She did.
I'm like, what's going on?
She did.
What's going backstory?
And modesty is another one.
Yeah, too. Yeah, so it's like, excuse me. And Miss Landra, what is your word?
Dream.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I tell my drama students, don't be afraid to dream. My parents instilled that in me when I was a child. That's why you always see my tags on social media, Dream Chaser.
Yeah, you do.
I've been a Dream Chaser all my life, still chasing dreams.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes we are discouraged from doing that. From fear. Mm-hmm. Are you crazy?
Right.
People.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? So I'm big on chasing dreams. You can do anything you put your mind to. If you can dream it,
You can become it.
Well, all 6 of them, I gotta start counting. I did go to school, I swear. All 6 of us are examples of people who have started from where we started from, and we are here today in this room. I love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You guys I can talk to you guys forever. I can talk forever to you guys. Now, we're going to start going across, and everybody's going to tell where you can find the show, of course, and also find where you can find each other on social media. So, Landra, we'll start with you.
Okay, so for the show, we are on Instagram, Asunder The Series, Twitter, Asunder Series, and Facebook, Asunder The Series. My personal public Instagram, Landra V Phillips. I think that's it.
And I posted a trailer on my page, Breaking Into, so I posted a trailer on there. Dwayne?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at whoisDwayne Parker. I'd also like to encourage you to visit the Dr. Walter Kite Foundation on Facebook and on Instagram. It helps kids in need. And
very good. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I know.
So, yes, Lauren B. Martin, LaurenBMartin.com, Lauren B. Martin on Instagram, Lauren B. Martin, that little girl.
I love it. I love it.
All of the above. And big ups to everyone from Anacostia, from Asunder, from Pride. Yeah. My new show, Paper Empire, is another thing coming. So thank you to all of the support and all of the people who are giving me things to do.
We love Lauren. Everybody loves
her. I know, Lauren's awesome. She's the best. She's everything I could have thought of, but now meeting her. Everything and more. Everything and more. But I'm also in love with this lady over here, Miss Audrey.
It's Audrey Looye. You can find me at IMDb, Instagram, Facebook, and the first 3 episodes of Asunder the Series on Amazon Prime.
That's right. Hey. And Mr. Tony Devon Head.
Instagram, Tony D. Head. Facebook, Tony D. Head. Twitter, Tony Devon Head. Want to give a shout out to Bronx Special Investigations Unit, which is nominated for 3 Emmys coming up that I'm guest starring at. Joker, which will be out at the end of the year. Yeah. Lazy Susan with Allison Janney, and there's Strive with Danny Glover.
He's working.
Will be coming out in the fall.
He's working. You are a working actor.
I'm trying. Trying to be like everyone else here.
He's
doing. I like that he's a doer. I always say I'm a doer. We're like doers here. So thank you for watching the show. You guys can follow us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube under Breaking Into. It's on the Black Hollywood Live channel. I have a Facebook page called Breaking Into where I did post a trailer. So you can see a trailer, and more about them will be on that page. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold. James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Everywhere. Just type my name in. You'll find me. My music's on SoundCloud. Music's on iTunes. And my books are on Amazon. So you can follow all of my stuff that's going on there. Next, we have another great guest next week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content. And be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.